racing fans, it is Jake from Snow CC and I am back once again, this time with my new Zwift Racing 101 series on how to improve your Zwift racing skills. So if you already race on Zwift, then you already know that most races end in the dreaded bunch sprint finish. But do not worry whether you are already a sprint sensation or you are a slow twitch superstar. This real race win tactics and analysis, and most importantly tips, are going to help take your bunch sprinting to the next level. Okay guys, so let's do this. We're going to jump straight in here and we're going to have a look at the first and arguably the most important tip of all, which is to always be in the right position ready for the sprint. And as we can see from this example here, my ace lead out man Colin goes from the front but puts himself at a massive disadvantage, having myself and all the other sprinters sat on his wheel, coming past him and cruelly mugging him for the win on the line. Worth mentioning as well that the size of the group exponentially makes where your positioning is much more important. If it's a small group, positioning is less crucial. If it's a big group of 50 riders, you can't be at the back. You're going to have to try and make up 5 bike lengths just to get to the front of the group, let alone contest the win. So just keep that one in mind. Okay, so let's have a look at tip number 2, which is to make sure you are not going too late. There's a rider that's broken away. He doesn't want to wait for the sprint and he's gone off at the front. If you leave them out there too long and you do what I do, which is to just wait until you want to launch your sprint, then you might just be fighting for second place. You might not even be fighting for first place. You have to keep a really close eye on those guys off the front. And if it means you have to go 100 meters, 200 meters earlier than you wanted to, that you thought was a good idea, sometimes you just have to do that. And as we can see in this example here, I get really, really lucky because I'm trying to come around the rider. On my screen, I'm too late. But due to an internet lag, when we get to the results, I get really lucky and I did just about pit that rider, but I made a bad mistake. And as a secondary point to this, I just want to bring up power-ups. I haven't got power-ups as a tip on this list because, as you will see from all the other sprint finishes, I do not have a power-up. I have one for this race and I use it, but it's not crucial. They're nice to have, they're desirable. You do not need a power-up to win a group sprint, as we will see in the next examples. And for tip number 3, I am taking you to my teammate Dan Andrews' race over in C category as we have a prime look at somebody that went too early. As you will spot here, there's a really strong rider, M. Burton, who can do a really good sprint. He goes from 300 metres out, and as you'll see, he storms to the front of the group. He's flying away from everybody, but he just runs out of steam and he cracks 150 metres from the line. He's gone 150 metres too early. Whereas Dan has timed his sprint to perfection. He comes powering past everybody in the last 100 metres and he's got enough strength to hold on. He went at the right time. Unlike me, in this second example we're going to have a look at, where I made the mistake of going too early. And as you'll see, whether you've got the best numbers on the sprint or not, if you go too early and you're leading out everybody else for the rest of the sprint, it's going to be really, really difficult to hold on. And I get a little bit of a gap here. I'm doing bigger numbers, as you can see in the script on the right hand side, but it's just not enough. These two riders are really strong and they just fly past me. I've run out of steam way too early. We're 50 metres from the line and I hang my head in shame as they come flying past me, knowing that I just went too early. Now that brings us on to tip number 4 as we look at an almost identical race to the last one with the same 3 riders going for the same finish, but this time we do it correctly. We wait for the rider on the front to go first. Our rider behind is cooked. He's going to contest with the 4th place rider. So we just have to commit here, grit our teeth, as you can see, really suffering, and you just have to chomp down on your teeth and go as hard as you can, all in, no looking back, and just do everything you can, every last watt, to try and take the win. And that's what it looks like when you do it right, you time it right, and you commit with everything you've got. That's the difference between third place and first place against the same riders on the same course. And for tip number 5, we are going all the way back to a couple of years ago for my first ever Zwift race win. Now, like a lot of people, I had a mental block about winning my first race. I felt like I wasn't good enough, I wasn't strong enough, that there would always be somebody there that was better. But when you think about it, and this is something that's really important, somebody has to win. And why can't that be you? One of those people is going to win, and it's usually the person that wants it the most. They say with cycling that 90% of cycling is mental. It's who can suffer the most, who wants it the most. And I can promise you, when we get to the final 2.5k of any race, I am psyching myself up. I'm telling myself I am going to win this race. I am the best sprinter, I'm the best rider in this race, in the world. And of course it's not true. But it doesn't matter that it's not true. It matters that I am telling myself and I believe it. And for those moments, I am the best rider in the world. I can win that race, and I am going to give it my best shot. Win, lose or draw, we've got a really good chance. We're going to give it a good go. But to do that, you have to psych yourself up. You have to tell yourself, this is it. This is the end of the race. This is why you have been suffering for the last 45 minutes. And you're here and you're still in with the shout of the win. So you've got to do everything you can to really get that adrenaline pumping and give you those extra watts that you need at the end of a race. And as you can see from the finish here, I am super psyched to have taken my first ever Zwift race win. Maybe a little bit too excited, but sometimes that's what you need to do to just get yourself over the line. And our final tip for today is about practicing makes perfect. It's taking all of the tips that we've learned today and putting them together to give yourself the best chance of the win. And to do that takes practice. You're not going to get it all right the first time, but you can work on every little aspect to make sure that you're improving with every race. And as we look at a mixed category finish here, where we do everything right, all of the tips we've learnt today, we make sure that we are in the right position heading into the final couple hundred of meters. We are not going to go too early, as you can see. We are not going to go too late. We're going to commit with everything we've got and not look back, and we're really going to psych ourselves up here as we close in on that rider who's been doing 5.6 watt per kilo average for the race, and we just manage to reel him in before the line by putting all of those tactics together and taking a team 1-2 win, which was really satisfying over a mixed category field. And like I say, it's just about practice. Take all of these tips, try them out, not necessarily together, one at a time until you feel comfortable. And then when you're ready, thread them all together and put the final finished product on display as you're going to take a load of podiums and wins in your races going forward. But even if you're not winning, even if you're not podiuming, it's just about improving your ability, improving your skill set and improving your results. So hope to catch you on the next one. If you're looking to improve your sprint power overall, then check out this video here. Thanks for joining us and catch you on the next one.